What's up everybody, I'm John with Refinery Fragrances. Today we are talking about Primas by Navitus Parfums. So Primas is a 2019 release by the company Navitus Parfums. I'm sure most of you watching this already know this, but this company was started by Steven over at the channel Redolessence, and he is also the creative director for the brand. So when I heard Steven from Redolessence was starting his own brand, I was really excited. I had been watching Steven for years prior to that. And we seem to share similar taste in fragrance, and I knew that when he would release a line that it would not disappoint. It would be very niche, the performance would be there, the quality would be there, and I gotta say, from what I've smelled from the line, he did not disappoint. He delivered on all those fronts. But Primas is my first purchase from Navitus Parfums. I've smelled the entire line over at Perfumology in Philadelphia. Shout out to Near Guy over at Perfumology. If you guys have not checked out his store, I highly recommend that you do so. I will leave a link to his website down below, and you can find all of these fragrances at his shop. So let's get into the breakdown of Primas. This is classified as a chypre. The top notes are bergamot, green mango, grapefruit, and rosewood. In the heart is patchouli, jasmine, and cedarwood. And in the base there is oak moss, labdanum, dark amber woods, and musk. So what do I get out of this? I get a very fresh, bright, musky citrus fragrance, perfect for all year round, perfect for any season, occasion, super versatile. When I first did research on this fragrance before I had smelled the line at all, a lot of people were comparing it to Aventus, Sauvage, Hachivat, fragrances that were inspired by Aventus. And I can definitely see some similarities. I would say this more closely resembles Hachivat than any of them, and I'm sure it has to do with the fact that George Lee, who is the perfumer of Hachivat, also was the perfumer for Primas. While I think they're similar, I do feel like they do two different things. I'm going to be in the minority on this one, I know for sure. But if I can just talk about performance for a second, to me, on my skin, this outperforms Hachivat, and it's not really close. I get way better projection, way better longevity. I would say 8 to 10 hours on longevity. And I would say for the first 3 to 4 hours, you're gonna get over an arm's length in terms of projection and sillage. After that, it sits a little bit close to the skin, but it's still hovering around you, and still has a nice scent bubble, and it's certainly detectable. So what I really love about this fragrance is when you first spray it on, there's a real sharpness to the top. I almost get like a black pepper type of vibe, and it actually reminds me of some of the older batches of Aventus. I had a 2013 bottle of Aventus that I gave to my dad. At the time, I had no idea about reformulation, so unfortunately, I gave it away. I bought a new bottle, and it didn't smell the same as my 2013 batch. And I'm not an Indian giver, so I'm not gonna try to steal that back from my dad, but I did miss it for sure. To me, this kind of has that a similar vibe in the opening. I don't know exactly where that sharpness or that black pepper vibe is coming from. I would guess the rosewood and the grapefruit maybe. I also might be getting a little bit of the patchouli and the jasmine peeking through that is creating that. I'm not sure, I'm not a perfumer, but that is what I would assume that's what's giving it that sharpness. And it's not sharpness in any sort of metallic way. It's actually really smooth and pleasant, and it definitely kind of projects this air of confidence and masculinity. I just think it's done really, really well here. So I know a lot of us fragrance enthusiasts are into compliments. And what did I get out of compliments from Primas? I feel like I can't give a great verdict on that just yet. So I've worn it probably about 6 times. And during that period, I got 1 compliment. I wore it in preparation for the review, but I've only had it about 2.5 weeks or so. So I'm curious to see how it will do. I got a compliment from a guy when I went to go change my oil in my car. He got in to start the oil change and said, "Man, what do you have on? It smells amazing." This is just the kind of scent profile that I think will garner compliments, and I think the performance is there that, you know, people will smell you. Typically on this, I go 3 to 4 sprays. I think beyond that, it could I think it might choke me out, but I don't know if you'll offend anybody necessarily with this fragrance. It just has a very likable quality about it. And for that, I don't think you're gonna, you know, turn any heads in a negative way. What do I think about this fragrance? I really, really enjoy it. I think it was done really well. I think top to bottom, it's a really nice wearing experience. It's long lasting. The projection is there. The scent profile is there. And for that, I think I would give it a final score of 8 out of 10. Fragrances like this have been done. It's not groundbreaking in any way. Like I'd mentioned, there's so many fragrances that this is compared to, but for me, this one's doing it. All right, guys, that's all for me on Primas by Navitus Parfums. I want to hear from you now, so if you wouldn't mind, drop a comment. Let's get a conversation started. Have you tried Navitus Parfums? What are your favorites from the brand? And also, like I said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon for notifications for future videos, and we'll see you soon.